We are starting right now! And that is the whole truth of this case. The Mason system? What is going on here? Oh, that's my heart rate. Oh, fantastic. My heart rate's looking pretty nice. Great, I'm dead. But wait, what is going on here? In order to understand it myself, I had to know the story of these last 7 long years. Wait. This is from the first case. Wait, so is it tying all these cases together? Nothing happens by chance. All is connected. This is trippy. Gun? A gun? Oh, somebody just got murdered with 2 guns. And now, you stand ready to begin the final chapter of this story. Oh. Girl falls backwards. What is going on? Will the defendant be found guilty or innocent? The decision is... Wait, mine? Kristoff? What just happened? I really did not understand much of that, but... Alright, you say we choose guilty? Can we choose neither? I'm not good with decisions like that. Hey Apollo, look on TV, look! Yeah, I'm kinda busy. Whoa, look at that! He's the last grimoire, alright, amazing! Apollo, you should be watching this! Ow, what? I was writing about our last case in my journal. Lawyers are supposed to write things in records, Apollo, not journals. And why now? The case was 3 months ago. Hey, it's a long story. I did a lot, you know. A lot of crime. I want to vacuum pack the feel of the moment for later. Right now, I'm wowing the crowd by figuring out how Lemoire disappeared. Apollo has a diary? So do I, but you don't see me complaining about it. That's right, Uncle Valant did that illusion too. But you're missing him on TV right now. I was just getting to the good part. I suppose I should watch a little TV with her. After all, her father's expecting me to look after her while he's away. What you're now seeing is a rehearsal for the greatest magic show on Earth. Happening right here at our very own Sunshine Coliseum. The Sunshine Coliseum? Hey, that's where the Governor's concert was. Only 3 more days until miracles happen here right before your unbelieving eyes. The legendary troupe Grimoire is performing for the first time in 7 years. The guy on the left, that's Yellow Guy. I don't know who the others are. That's gonna be great, I'm so there. You and Daddy are coming too. The legendary Grimoires. If Trucy's real father were still alive. That's what the Shine Sprites are at Sunshine Coliseum. I knew it! He'd be on that stage performing miracles. I've got the tickets and everything. Here's yours, Apollo. Oh, fantastic, my evidence. I present the ticket. Judge, he is innocent. Rips it in half. The door squeaks. Ah, you were here, working hard or hardly working. It's our boy Phoenix! Hey, how have you been? Hi there, stranger! Not exactly the kind of greeting I want to hear from my own kid. Though he has been gone a long time, like... Where the heck has he been? How goes it, Trucy? Here, I got a present for ya! Yay, pudding! I love pudding! Imagine coming back to your child only to give pudding. Oh, Daddy, thank you for the pudding. I love you, Daddy. It's farm fresh. And not just 1 pudding, but 3 whole cups. 3 cups of pudding. Is that a pog moment or is it not? I'll have to pace myself. Well, I'm beat. 3-cup pudding? I know! That's right, Daddy. You're on a top secret mission. You've got to take it easy with the secrets, you know? how right you are. No, you still can't tell us what your mission is. No. Maybe it is time. It has something to do with you anyway. Huh? With me? Ooh, maybe you're getting a top secret mission too. Maybe you're getting a sequel. Maybe you can be one of those guys. A spy. Can I just be a defense attorney? To be honest, telling you about the mission was my whole reason for coming here today. I wasn't gonna show up for anything else. Not for my own daughter. What? Tell me, you've heard of the juris system, yes? The juris system? That's right, the new legal system everyone's talking about. Have you heard of it, Apollo? Huh? Maybe? Maybe not as many people are talking about it as I thought. The juris system, huh? What's going on? I don't know what's going on. This case is already confusing me. By the way, how's the audio to everybody? Wait a minute, have I done this? Presenting, are we? I did my fair share of that back in the day. Showed my attorney's badge a lot too. He may look cool and calm now, but you should have seen him before. You know me too well, Trucy. I'm glad I provided this opportunity for a little family bonding. Oh yeah, I think I did show the badge before. By the way, let me check on the tree. The plant. It intrigues you, doesn't it? Anything sus? You know we just started the 4th case. Nothing sus has happened yet. Phoenix, now that he's a dad, just goes around presenting Trucy everywhere. Take that, my daughter! This is my daughter! That's right, I'm Phoenix and I'm a father. And how did you get this girl? I don't know. Okay. Not really, it's just the only thing in here that doesn't have some secret function. Also, Colby, is that you? No secrets, but lots of memories. And a name too, wanna hear it? Not really. His name is Charlie, if you were curious. Hey Colby, what you doing here? Really, I wasn't. Charlie the plant's still alive right now, fantastic. So Daddy, what's this jury system thing? Well, Trucy, do you know what a jury is? I've heard of a jury curl. I've heard of it. Isn't that those people who sit in court in those old courtroom dramas that just move their head and go the ones who get to decide if a guy's innocent or guilty? Do you know Apollo? Only from TV. It's 12 people chosen from the community, right? Well, they're thinking about reviving that system. They're calling it the new system, the juris system. No more doing whatever you like, Your Honor. The orange and blue binary stuff in the opening cutscene is your phone's lock screen and home screen right now. So it's like it goes from orange to blue when you open up your phone. That actually sounds pretty cool. Not quite that hard. Juris cooperates with the judge. They help analyze the case from different angles, from top to bottom, from left to right. And there will only be 6 of them under the current proposal, right? Wow, you know yourself, Apollo. So including me, which 5 of you in the chat want to help me decide if I'm guilty or not guilty? That's right, I'm deciding if I'm guilty or not guilty. I'm one of the people. I will decide if I'm guilty or not. Their findings directly affect the verdict. Hopefully people will start taking the courts a little more seriously now, after 4 games. I feel like I'm on some kind of educational TV show, starring Dr. Wright. Dr. Wright, his assistant Trucy, and mascot Apollo. And mascot Apollo. Perfect team right there. Mascot, hey! Whose favorite mascot is Apollo? I want to hear I. So, what is this secret mission? The jury system is my mission, more or less. Anyway, keep in mind that new ideas like this system are always risky, Apollo. Too true. Everyone's got an opinion and they just talk and nothing gets decided. That's right, Apollo. The jury system is just the American court justice system. Dun dun. Law and order. Dun dun. Kinda like you, Apollo. I'm not that bad, am I? In any case, we're going to give it a shot. A test, if you will. We're going to do it right now. Phoenix just destroys the game and it's like, by the way, you're playing a simulation of Phoenix Wright 4. I don't like tests. We'll take a case as a sample and choose 6 jurists. I'll be the one helping with that process, incidentally. Helping how? Well, for one, I'll be chair of the Jury System Simulated Court Committee, the JSSCC. The chair constructs the ideal situation, choosing the case the jurors can... No, wait. Phoenix looks like this, and he's the head of something crazy right now? What the heck is going on right now? Even the judge in the courtroom, like... yes, Phoenix, the most professional... casual-looking guy working the jury system. Wow, it's like you have a real job. I was never that good at the piano, to be honest. Once a lawyer, always a lawyer, I guess. Trial's tomorrow, by the way. Don't miss it. The trial simulation, that is. A simulation, huh? Sounds interesting. We go there, everybody's Phoenix. You gotta defend Phoenix from Prosecutor Phoenix and Judge Phoenix presiding. So, what kind of case is the trial simulation about? Well, since it is the first run-through of a new system, I wanted something simple. A murder case. Good thinking, no sense wearing yourself out on something too serious. But yeah, CP, that's what it's a murder case. Is this the first ever case in the series with this system then? I think? I believe this is the first time we'll be using the jury system if that's what we're doing? That's not simple at all! By simple, did you mean that the defendant is... guilty? Yes, most likely. So, good luck, Apollo. Wait, with what? With the trial tomorrow. You're defending, of course. Recall that I said it has something to do with you. Go for it, Apollo. It's just a test case anyway, no sweat. If the person gets guilty, you kill him. Okay, bye. Oh, yeah, but there's still a verdict to be decided. It's the only ever case with the system. So, Dolus, you mean they decide to bring in the jury system for this case, and not for any of the sequels right afterwards? Excuse me? And a potentially serious sentence, the most serious in the worst case scenario. You mean the verdict's for real? That's not a test trial, that's a real trial. All the forms have been filed, there's no turning back now. Throw the badge away like, can't defend if you don't have a badge. The trial begins tomorrow at 10. Hope you can make room in your schedule. Why am I only hearing about this now? Ah, yes, there was a change this morning. I picked a new case. Eh? Something that happened last night. What's going on? Hey, Apollo, I know you're all excited about that secret mission. But what about this? The True Grimoire Grand Magic Show! Huh? Oh, right, the card tricks. They're not card tricks! They're grand illusions, miracles, the apocalypse! Wait, did she say heaven and earth will shake? The text automatically skipped, but did she say heaven and earth will shake? I would love to go to a magic show where heaven and earth will shake. That means heaven will have to shake and angels will start falling to the ground. So what, that's 3 whole days right now, from now. It's at Sunshine Coliseum, let's go today! We can say hi to Uncle Valent! Have fun. What? I can't go by myself, you know I'm not very outgoing. Right. Why not go with her? But, what about the secret mission? Oh, don't worry about that. You'll hear all about it tomorrow regardless. I don't trust that smile, he knows something that he's not telling me. Yippee, now you can take me to the Coliseum! I suppose it wouldn't kill me to pop over there, I guess. Grimoire, that reminds me. What's this, Daddy? Isn't that Silk Cat the Grimoire seal? Consider it a birthday present, Trucy. Thanks, it's great! But... today isn't my birthday. Huh. Good point. What day is it today, Apollo? Today? I think it's Recycle Your Plastics Day. Then it's a Recycle Your Plastics prep... Happy Recycle Your Plastics Day! Yep, recycle your hamburgers up. Dude, why would you recycle a hamburger? Yippee, so it's plastic! I've given up trying to understand them, it's much easier that way. So what is it? Can I open it, Daddy? No. Oh, that face right there. No. Huh? You'll need that envelope someday. Someday soon. Don't open it until then. Oh, why didn't you just hold on to it until then? Because that would be the logical thing to do. Phoenix's face like, no. Can I examine the envelope? Oh, I can. Let's open it right now. Oh, we can't. That's a signature. Oh, looky here, a handwritten signature. It says I can't read it. That seems odd to me. I mean, isn't it a signature it's intended to show ownership? What's the use if no one can read it? Isn't it enough if you can read your own? Oh, I never thought of it that way. But yeah, who writes their signature like this though? Like, can anybody tell whose signature that is though? Lucy has never heard of a doctor before. Oh yeah, you're right. Doctors do that. They just write like this. That's it. An envelope about the grimoires, huh? The trial simulation. Alright, so what case are you gonna use? You really wanna know, don't you? Of course I do. I mean, I'm gonna be defending, aren't I? The signature of Mr. Squiggly Line, that friggin' line. If it all goes well, then yes. Of course, this is just a test. We wanted everyone to start without preconceptions, a blank slate as it were. There's a difference between having a blank slate and just being totally clueless. Whose dumb idea was that anyway? Well, mine. Committee chair, remember? Oh. Well, if you want to know that badly, I suppose I could give you permission to examine the scene of the crime. Good! That's better. But you can't talk to anyone involved with the case. What? Then how am I supposed to defend? You let me worry about the details there. Remember, I'm in charge of this trial. All of it. But you don't want it to backfire, do you? Apollo. If I am in charge of the whole trial, that means the entire affair is my responsibility, for good or for bad. Just do what you can. And don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Alright. I'd recommend going down to the detention center. Your client's waiting for you. You can ask about the scene there. But you just said I couldn't talk to anyone involved. Oh, you can talk to your client. If you can get her to talk. Well, time's a wasting. What is going on here? This case is getting weirder and weirder, and we just started. I wonder who the client is. Let's go check it out. Attention, Santier. My lovely officer in the back. That's 20 minutes we've been waiting here. 20 minutes! This case is so epic, isn't it? It's so epic, 20 minutes just passed by in a blink of an eye. Maybe I should complain? Hey, where's the client? Where's the arrested person? I'm sure that guard has better things to do than just stand there pretending he doesn't see us. You know, the minute we get angry, the client will show. It always works that way. Like shouting, "Oh, waiter," and they're standing right behind you. Oh, wait, before we continue on, I should probably plug in my 3DS to the charger. We can't let this 3DS die in the middle of the case, am I right? Oh, God! Is our client gonna be much longer? What are you talking about? Haven't you already started the meeting yet? Huh? Oh. Ah! They moved her. Where'd you come from? I think our client is a bit buggy right now. She needs to get patched. Well, anyway, please have a seat. Colby, are you infatuated with this woman? I'm nervous, Apollo. It's the silence. It builds suspense. Why don't you do something, Trucy? You're a magician, aren't you? That's right. Okay, It's Mr. Hat! I'm the amazing Mr. Hat! Did she? Ah! She passed out. Wait, she passed out from seeing Mr. Hat? Mr. Hat is a national treasure. His magic underwear might have been a bit better bet. That's magic panties, Apollo. Oh, why did it become all Mr. Hat scary? Mr. Hat be scary too. Hi. Well, I'm your defense. I really think it has to be fate, you know? And by fate, I mean destiny. Did you know I'm good with astrology? Tell me, what's your sign? She just opens the book. It's a stop sign. I can tell you mine if you like, Apollo. No, never mind. I just got carried away there. I seem destined to get difficult clients, it seems. Apollo got shot down? So what's your name? Oh, right, I'm supposed to introduce myself first. I'm Apollo. Apollo Justice. And I'm Trucy Wright. I know, this is getting nowhere fast. Oh, this is really awkward. Hey, I know, maybe you can tell us what happened. I'm your defense attorney after all. Anything out of the ordinary happened lately? Well, the other day, this tourist from out of town stopped to ask me directions. Later, Trucy. Oh, Trucy wants to talk, but I feel like I need to ask directions myself here. Well, that was fruitless. Though I think I understand despair a little better now. You did good, Apollo. Oh, she has a hand. I froze somebody's hand. Look, she's doing her nails. What? Are nails more important than the fence? Is that it? Let's go, Trucy. Oh, man. Excuse me? She talked? Could you read this? Sure. And then she moved away. I feel like a teenager on a first date. Apollo? And this is the love letter we passed from desk to desk at school. Stop looking so wistful and read it, Apollo. It's a business card with a name and an address. The name is Vera Misham? The address is for Drew Studio. Oh, okay. And you're giving me this card because... well, looks like we're finished here. I wonder if Drew Studio is the scene of the crime. Let's go find out. Hold on, let me go check that card, though. Oh, look at that card. Huh. What a pretty business card. Looks like a postcard almost. And on the back, guess her name. That seems odd to me. Oh, what does? Why write your name on the front and back of the card? Why not use the space on the back for a self-portrait or a caricature? Then people will remember what you look like, too. That's not a bad idea, actually. Here, give me one of your cards, Apollo. She's drawing something. Hey, my hair's not that spiky. It's just a head and one giant spike of hair. Like, that's what she drew? Would that be a great business card, or would that be a great business card? Oh. Very small place for a studio. This music. Wow, this looks like... It looks like a studio. Like life imitating art. Or maybe it's the other way around. But the tape on the ground there, it's a bit jarring. Yeah, looks like we found our crime scene. Apollo, look at all these paintings. Hey, don't touch those. Okay, I'm just looking. Ew, what are these paintings? The blowfish. And there's... Giant peach? Huh? Apollo, look at this one. Oh, you have a picture of Apollo, but his hair is in one big spike? Now that's a picture I love to see. Looks half finished. You can still see the rough sketch underneath. But that's odd. The rough part doesn't look like the rest of the painting at all. Yeah, good point. That is odd. Alright, I guess I'll just take these paintings for myself, all three of them. Wait, there's a fourth one. All the paintings have a really different style too. I thought I might find you two here. Emma! Long time no see! Oh? Seems like I run into you far too often. I'll bet I know why you're here too. You know about the trial simulation tomorrow? I've heard about it, sure, so Mr. Wright chose you, huh? We don't even know what the case is about. Well, he was killed, the artist who owns the studio, that is. Mr. Drew Misham. It's best girl? Okay. Who is best girl, Emma or Vera? Who do you love? Do you love them all? Misham. Oh, Emma, okay, gotcha. And his daughter was put under arrest. Yeah. We just saw her at the detention center. It was funny though. Seemed more like a victim than the kind of person who could commit murder. You don't say. Not even by poisoning? That's how it was done, you know. Poisoning's a common way to get the job done when the murderer is a woman. Also known as Game 3, Case 3, when fancy restaurant made you drink poison by Fiorio Tigre. All of them are best girl. All Ace Attorney women are the best, but Emma is the most best. Yes, the most best. Poisoning's a common way to get the job done when the murderer is a woman. But poisoning? Anyway, Mr. Wright told me you'd be coming. Feel free to take a look around. I'll just be over here with my snackoos. Can't talk to anyone related to the case this time around. Which means we better find out as much as we can here at the scene. Or else the game would be over. Go check around. I wouldn't mind taking a closer look at those paintings. I just love oils. You know how they're so thick? Is that the word? These paints are all dry. I'm just surprised at how different these all are. Yeah, and what's going on with this half-finished one? It must have been a work in progress. You can still see the rough sketch below. That's what's so weird. The sketch part doesn't really fit the finished parts. I noticed. Yeah, that is so weird, but wait, what about this one behind the dresser? You love that Emma has depression food that she compulsively snacks on? The snackoos look so good though. What is a snackoo? Hey, there's a painting hidden behind back here. Hey, you're right. What if it's embarrassing somehow and he didn't want to show anyone to see it? He certainly seemed pleased by the possibility. Oh, it's so normal and low res. That's hardly something to get mad about. Huh? What is it, Apollo? Well, doesn't this painting look like... Never mind. I better get a professional opinion on this. Alright, got my hidden painting. It's similar. Oh wait, could this be the cup he drank out of? I imagine this coffee cup was for guests to use. We gotta bring out the fine china. Guest? Did the police already analyze this cup too? Not a trace of poison was found in that cup, so the killer was after Drew Misham alone. Then what about this blue cup right here? Ah, that's the victim's coffee mug. Are we dealing with a Madarame? I don't think we're dealing with a Madarame. This isn't Persona. I'm thinking it. Uh-huh, so the poison wasn't here. This is my first time seeing a real poison mug of coffee. I love... Just die immediately. I would hope so. Poison coffee? Not exactly, actually. What do you mean? No traces of poison were found in the coffee. What? You'll have to figure out the rest yourself. I'm officially not on your side after all, officially. Alright, got a free coffee mug with poison on it. Judge? No, don't give it to the judge. The judge does not deserve to die, okay? Let me go check these paintings out. Portrait number 1, what is this all about? Oh, wait, it's right there. Well, what do we have here? It looks like a person thinking about something. Maybe they're worried? Like, what should I have for supper? A hot dog or a hamburger? Hamburger. You know, I've always wondered about that. Why is there supper and dinner? Are they different meals or the same thing? Maybe that's what this person's thinking about. Ah, yes, what should I have for dinner? Your Majesty. Ganon and his minions have taken over the island of Korodai. Is that a pufferfish? Apollo, that's clearly a porcupine fit. A porcupine what? They're not the same thing? You know what gets me? Emma staring. Let her stare. You know what gets me? They've all got these needles, right? But what's protecting that soft spot on the lower belly there? Nothing. So you just tickle them underneath. Let's remember to keep Trucy away from small round fish. It's a pineapple? Okay, I can agree that it could be a pineapple. Apollo, look at this painting. You can see the rough sketch. Oh, looks like it was only half completed. Oh, that's funny. The rough sketch and the finished painting look totally different to you two? They do, actually. What's that all about? What could this all be about? Then we got the actually finished one right here. It looks really low res for some reason. Why is it so low res? Hey, Apollo, this painting, I know it. Oh, really? Is that story where the old woman is doing the wash in the river? And this giant peach comes a floating on down. That might possibly be the strangest thing I've ever heard. It loves to... I mean, who else read a story about a giant peach floating on down to the river, am I right? Everybody loves that. Oh, wait, is there... Oh, there's actually more? Why is there so much more? Wow! Holy heck, this studio is bigger than I thought, am I right? Let's take a closer look at the desk here. Oh. We actually zoomed into the wait, what's this red envelope? This envelope has been opened and resealed. Oh, I know how to do that. You take a pot of boiling water and hold the envelope up to the steam. The glue melts and it opens. Cool, huh? Whoever did this wasn't so delicate. You're right, looks like they just ripped it open and stuck it back together. Huh? The postmark on this letter is from 7 years ago. Why would someone open a letter then seal it again? The envelope looks like a calling card. Are you really bringing Persona into a game like Apollo Justice? Does that really make sense to anybody here? If it does, do let me know. I better hang on to this though. Let me just put the envelope in here. There we go. Nothing to see. Apollo Justice just carefully like opens up his vest and just puts stuff inside though. Oh wait, speaking of which, so I've decided what game to play after Apollo Justice. So I'm gonna take a break from the Phoenix Wright series to play Ghost Trick. After Apollo Justice, I'll be playing Ghost Trick if anybody's interested in seeing me play Ghost Trick. That's the next game I'll be playing. So I hope you look forward to that or else be perished because I will destroy you all. Ghost Trick is so good. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard it's so good. What is all this equipment here for? It doesn't look very artistic, really. So, Ghost Trick is created by the same guy who created Phoenix Wright. Ghost Trick is a very beautifully animated game on the DS, and I've heard I definitely need to play it. So you will see how Phoenix Wright-esque it is. Isn't that like Phoenix Wright but you die a lot? Oh, I can't wait to do it then. The music is also by the guy who did Ace Attorney 1. Oh, we are so in there then. I've heard the animations in that game are phenomenal. He had everything from a lathe to a laser cutter. Looks like he was ready to work on metals and wood too. Though his equipment's a bit old to tell the truth. Why would a painter need all this? From the dust, I say he hasn't used this stuff for years. 7 years to be exact. 7 years of dust. The corner doesn't fit with the rest of the studio. Oh, do you think I could borrow this? I want to cut a quarter in half to make a trick coin. This is a crime scene, Trucy. But these cost like 50 bucks at the magic shop. Trucy's like, I want to take the 3D printer. I want this. Trucy, it's a crime scene. Let me have fun, Apollo. So, let me see if Emma knows anything about these paintings. Anime music, anime games do have amazing music. Emma, about this painting. Oh, Dad, quite good, isn't it? That's not what I wanted to ask you about. You want to examine it, is that it? I'd be happy to let you if you had a good reason. But without that, sorry. I guess she wants us to do a little footwork on our own first. Okay, so I'm pretty sure she'll say the thing, but what about the hidden one? Oh, Emma, I was wondering about this painting here. Ghost Trick Fan and Detective. Yep, that's the game right there. Not that one? What about it? What about it? Yeah, what about it, Apollo? Take a closer look at it, both of you. Now look at this one. This is the third painting he was working on. Hey, they're the same. I was hoping you wouldn't find that. Ooh, you're right though. Drew Misham was copying this paint. We are dealing with a Madarama. Wow, it's pretty good. Copying a painting? What for? Why would people copy paintings? For what reason at all? So, this, Drew Misham was some kind of artist? Apparently, did a lot of illustrations for books, I hear. By the way, before we continue on, did everybody have a good Thanksgiving? Hopefully a safe Thanksgiving? Hopefully a Thanksgiving where people did not catch anything? But I hope everybody was safe this Thanksgiving. I hope you had a wonderful time. Had a lot of female fans too, for what it's worth. Oh, well, I guess his stuff is kinda pretty. He just realized his name is Drew because he draws art. Kobe, oh, Kobe, I'm just gonna disappear. Holy heck, disappearing really takes a lot out of you. Like that oil painting over there, for instance. Yeah. That wasn't one of his illustrations, actually. So it was a standalone painting or something? Is that what she means? He was an odd bird, Misham. Misham, like sham? Hadn't shown his face to anyone until the end. Drew drew art because he doesn't draw anymore because he's dead. So when Drew drew art but doesn't draw anymore because Drew Misham is dead, he's dead. That boy is dead. That man is dead. What do you mean to anyone? He was always locked up here in the studio, apparently. His only connection to the outside world was Drew letters he put in that letterbox there. Letters? Do people still write letters? And with my new P.O. box, you can all send me things too. I don't have a P.O. box yet. Maybe next year. What do you mean, Apollo? I mean, when was the last time you wrote a real letter? Don't most people use email and stuff these days? Don't they use pigeon carriers? Not Mr. Misham. Didn't stand technology, it seems. He did everything by mail. Maybe he thought that way was more artistic, you know? Got a mailbox. In any case, the only person besides him allowed in here was his daughter, Vera. Oh, you mean the killer? The suspect, please. We took some fingerprints, of course. The only ones found in the room were Mr. Misham's and Vera's, basically. Basically? Actually, last night, Mr. Misham gave an interview to a reporter for the first time. It happened during the interview, apparently. His first interview ever? Could you tell us a bit more about what happened the night of the murder? So, the one time Drew brought in somebody, he died. Are you kidding me? That's like saying, oh look, a guest has come over to my stream. I'm dead. So this woman, Vera, she's Mr. Misham's daughter, right? Yep, a real sickly girl ever since she was little. Hardly ever went outside. Did kinda give off a withdrawn sort of aura. She was homeschooled by her father, apparently. It was quite a scene when he took her to the detention center. He was screaming about how she died, they took her outside. That does sound like a scene. In the end, she agreed to leave if she was allowed her good luck charm for company. Her good luck charm? Apparently she has this charm that magically gives her the courage to go outside. Why can't I ever get a normal client? But why would a shut-in daughter kill her own dad? Revenge. Don't look at me. So about the poison, it was found to be in his coffee, right? No, not precisely. Not precisely? What does that mean? It means see for yourself, I think. But I did, Emma. Like I said, last night was the first time someone from the outside came into the studio. I guess mysterious painters who never go outside make for good articles. And it just so happened that he died the night of his first interview? At around 9 p.m. every night, Vera always made him a cup of coffee. If she was ever late by 1 minute, Drew would just start screaming like a banshee. Last night, he drank his usual coffee and suddenly became violently ill. And died? He poisoned him on the night of his interview? Wouldn't the reporter see? He wasn't near Mr. Misham when she brought her father his coffee. He was checking out some equipment in the back of the room. Supposedly, that's why she didn't notice he was there. It was the reporter who called the police, in fact. Wait, but why is she the suspect? If anyone is suspicious, it's the reporter. Poisoning. It was Dahlia Hardthorpe. The demon that was from Dahlia's demon has come back to possess somebody, and now we got Dahlia 2.0. Oh great, now we need to go back up to the mountains and try out the snowmobile again. The snowmobile. Imagine. It just goes back to that dang snowmobile again. Yet the reporter never got near Mr. Misham's coffee. Even Vera acknowledges that. Regardless, I want to know more about this reporter. I bet Emma could help us out here. Don't forget, flattery will get you everywhere for Apollo. Huh? What are you two whispering about? Stuff. Well, I'm stuff. Well, I was thinking. People often draw Dahlia and the culprit in this game together. Interesting. I mean, what is it we always do when we run into you at a crime scene? What is it we always do scientifically? Oh, you know me too well. Okay, we eat snackoos together. Okay, meaning we can get scientific now? Oh, I suppose, just this once. Bring me anything you find suspicious and we'll check it out. Alright, first we need to check out that bag of snackoos. Who else has been eating from it? Because I need to know. So, Colby, you gotta go. I see now. You're coming for 10 minutes, say good luck, and you're gonna have fun, so you can go hang out with better friends than me. Well, I hope you have a wonderful time, Colby. Thanks for coming by. Until next time, buddy. So, Emma, about this coffee mug. I hope you aren't trying to grill me for information. You know I'm not talking. I suppose you are the detective here. Why don't you two take a look yourselves? If you find a clue, I might not be unwilling to lend a hand. I think she's going to help us, Apollo. Let's check out this mug, shall we? I do want to check out the mug. What kind of signature is that? Ah, yes. You start off with the M, and then you start having a stroke. Hey, look there! That stain doesn't look so healthy, Apollo. That must be the Blue Mountain stuff we've been hearing about. Something tells me that even Blue Mountain coffee isn't this blue. Are you sure, though? I want to. I really want Blue Mountain coffee to be blue coffee. No, this ain't is probably... Better ask Emma. Maybe present it again? About this mug. Oh, really? A bug in this... How did the... How... Wait, what happened with the game? Wait, what happened with the game? Why'd it stop? Why did the game stop? Really? The fly really stopped my game. The game is still working. The game is still working. The game just the thing just stopped. Did I kick a court? There was no court to kick. There was really no court to kick off. It's literally one wire from the thing to my computer. And a charger. Like literally, this thing is dying. Hey Alex Gamer, welcome to the stream. How do you do? I had to get the bug because I was worried it might have been a mosquito, but it wasn't a mosquito, it's just an annoying bug. There's a pale blue residue on the rim. That? What? Yes, it's just a rumor. But I've heard there's a kind of coffee called Blue Mountain. I'm pretty sure it isn't accidentally, is actually blue, Emma. You show up and see the game died. The game didn't die. The screen... Right. Okay, you got me. That's left over from my testing spray. Forensic science, I knew your hobby was behind this somehow, Emma. It's not a hobby. So what kind of scientific stuff were you up to? This spray, that's what. It turns blue when it touches poison. So the poison that killed the victim was on his mug? That's right, see? It wasn't in the coffee. The killer applied it to the rim of the mug itself. Wow, science is amazing. So, imagine you're trying to poison me and you put it on this rim. If I'm like, smells like poison, all I gotta do is just flip the bottle around, unless you just put the poison all over the place. Science is amazing. It certainly is helpful. Maybe Emma will be willing to help us out a bit more. To try buttering her up, Apollo. I say flattery will get you everywhere. It's certainly worth talking to her a bit more. About poison analysis. I was afraid you wouldn't ask about that. See, the solution is used to test for atroquine. Atroquinine. There we go. Atroquinine, the deadly poison found in the autopsy. Uh-oh, I know that spark in her eyes. She's getting excited. Let's tread lightly. It's one of the most virulent poisons, but is absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. Takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. Oh, and guess what? Recent research has shown... That's fine, really. We don't need to know all the gory details. I think I get it. You just sprayed this stuff on something you want to test, right? Precisely. You can find even the slightest trace of poison with this. I want to try too, Emma, please. You don't have to ask twice. I already used it on everything suspicious, of course. Yeah, let's give it a whirl, Apollo. Ah! What are you doing? I was just seeing if I got a reaction off it. Did she spray? She just sprayed, like, poison tracing spray on me. Are you... What if I'm toxic? Would I burn? How's this for a reaction? Never do that again. I'm not poisonous. Tell that to those hapless witnesses on the stand. Let's just get down to checking for real poison, shall we? Alright, let's... Poison. Where's the poison? Is there really no poison? Like, I'm trying to... I'm not finding any poison reactions. This is really rare. Too bad, no reaction there. I'm sure I'm gonna check out all the likely spots. Wait a second. What is it, Apollo? Did you spray that little desk over there? I don't think so. The spray probably can't reach that far, you know? Let's check it out, just to be sure. Oh, now we're spraying here? Fantastic. Wait, this poison on a tiny little frame? Ah! A reaction, Apollo! Ah! Where? The inside of that cute little frame, look! This poison in a little frame? Look at this photograph! It only makes me want to die. Well, would you look at that? Nice going, Trucy. I'm known to work magic. Never mind that I was the one who found it. We got a tiny little pretty frame, I guess. Why would the inside of that frame have poison on it? It looks like we found the only other place that was poison in any case. Interesting. Little frame. Emma, I was wondering if you could take a look at this. Look, I'm a detective. You can't just ask me any old thing and expect an answer, okay? I think you need to be a little more focused in your inquiries, scientific even. Somehow I knew she'd get around to science. Wait, does she know about the envelope? Emma, about this. Oh, that! Yes, why, that's a bright red envelope. He sure is jumpy. Someone opened this, didn't they? My lips are sealed. Your lips are sealed? That's a first. You mean you know what's inside the envelope? Sure, I read it after all. Ah, you mean you were the one who ripped this open? Ah, please, I would have steamed it open. But she did sneak a peek at it, apparently. Know that I have a powerful weapon on my side. Weapon? Yes, the use of tools, highly specialized tools for info gathering. Tools I wouldn't mind getting my hands on. Try flattering her. You should try flattering her, Apollo. They say a little praise can open big doors. Never heard that one, but it's good advice. Let's try talking to her some more. About that envelope we found. I was wondering if you could help us out with that tool you were mentioning. You want to know about my tool, don't you? It's called an X-ray analyzer. X-ray like the ones you get at the dentist? That's right, at least that's what I call it. Huh? It has a real name, but it's much more complicated. The X-ray specialization... something. How am I supposed to remember all that? So basically, it lets you see inside things, like envelopes. That's right, you're a sharp Trucy. But it's a bit more complicated than that in practice, of course. Actually, to tell the truth, I'm not really sure how it works scientifically. Can I try it out, Emma, please? Oh, I suppose. Of course, I've already checked out everything suspicious myself. Alright, let's give it a spin, Apollo. What are you doing? Oh, just seeing if I can see through your hair, but it's like... Did she just grab my head, put it into the machine, just to see if anything comes... Apollo, I'm sorry, baby. Holy heck. Point that thing anymore and it might all fall out. And I wouldn't need an X-ray machine to see through it. Let's just get down to business, shall we? Right, let's test it out on a sample first. It just so happens that I have a lottery ticket here, labeled lottery ticket. So we're going to scan a lottery ticket. You set the sample in the device like so. I don't see anything. Patience, there's no need to get all antsy. Look at the right side of the screen. That's the layer view of the envelope. Layer view? You've got it set to display the outside of the envelope now, see? Actually, it's quicker to just have you give it a try. Turn that dial there for me, would you? So we just turn it. Oh, that's right. That's how you choose what diff you want to scan. Hey, I got something. See, that's how you can read the letters on the ticket inside. Cool, huh? Except, I can't read them. Just turn the dial a little more. What you have to understand is that a sheet of paper isn't really flat at all. When you zoom in that much, you see that paper is like a bunch of hills and valleys. Like Paper Mario. Imagine X-raying him. What would come out? Wow, really? This X-ray device uses a beam with a wavelength of only 0.05 microns. It breaks cards down into thin layers so it can only show what's written on that layer. Not entirely following you, but what good is it if you can't read anything? That's why we go on step 2. Try rubbing the image a bit if you would. The image? You mean rub the screen? Oh, this is weird. There, that fixes the image on the screen. Now turn the dial again, just a little. Good, now you can rub this image to fix it too. Hey, I get it. We just keep doing this until we got the whole thing. Exactly, not bad. Neat, let's do some more. Oh, okay. I feel like I'm playing a WarioWare game. Oh. Turn it back. There we go. Oh, we're getting closer. Oh, I gotta go little by little every time. Am I... Oh, there we go. You lose! I lost! I can't believe I lost. Come on. I already see that we lost. How much more do I need to do? Come on. There we go. Okay, let's print this one out. You lost! Ouch, you lose. At least you know where you stand, eh? Anyway, now you see the true hidden power of my weapon. Neat, huh? Now let's try it out on the real thing, shall we? Game over, yeah! Alright, let's try it. Let's see what this envelope will say. There we go, there's the next part. Oh, the letter's coming out. I understand how this works now, it's pretty cool. Little more. There we go. Oh, I think we got it now. Imagine Emma getting them all, scanning them, and buys the only winning one. Mr. Drew Misham, I deposited the $100,000 into the designated account. Please send a receipt once you've confirmed the transfer. $100,000? His paintings must be really valuable. There's another page in there. Care to take a look? You bet I do. If you're gonna read someone's mail, you might as well read it all. Alright, cool. Here goes with the second page then. $100,000. So Chad, tell me, what would you do? If you had $100,000, what would you do with $100,000? And tell me honestly though, what would you do if you had 6 figures in your bank account right now? I think we're almost done with the second page over here. That couldn't. Oh wait, I think I'm missing some. Oh, there we go. My PlayStation. Okay, I guess with $100,000, you want a PlayStation 5. Sign the papers and send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. You need not remind you to speak of this to no one. So for $100,000, you will buy Apollo Justice on 3D. Best answer I've ever seen. So it was a letter about payment for one of his paintings. Why all the secrecy though? Yeah, Pixel Dog, you and your favorite streamer. I hope your favorite streamer's happy. And what? Why was this letter the only one in here? It's 7 years old, right? Maybe it has some special significance to him? Well, Emma? Well, indeed. She knows something she's not telling us. Like she's keeping mum about it. I get it now. So now we got the envelope now. So, Emma, I was wondering, what's the story about this reporter that came here for a story the night of the crime? I'm afraid I can't tell you because he's going to be a witness tomorrow right here. I thought so. I'll never forget that face, but what was his name? Oh, right. Rochelle. Russell? He's after a scoop to sell to the papers. So a reporter comes in for an interview with a painter. His first interview ever, and that night he's killed. Seems strange to you? Can we scan those paintings? I don't think we can. I think it scans only paper, not something very thick. Really strange. It does raise a few questions. I'd like to speak with this reporter if I could. Well, I hear he's on the beat today too. Says something about covering a magician. Magician? Well, if it's not true, that leaves only one other person. It wasn't Villain Grimoire by any chance, was it? Yeah, something like that. He's got some big show lined up, I hear. So he's out interviewing Villain Grimoire. Looks like I'll be heading out to that Coliseum again sooner than I thought. Yeah, I'll give you that reporter's card if you want. We got Rochelle's card. Alrighty then, nice. You would have just enough eShop gift card money to get Apollo Justice on 3DS, but you don't want to get it because then you would have no gift card balance. But if you had more money, you would definitely get it. Solus, you definitely have a very unique way of thinking about these things, don't ya? Very unique indeed. I mean, what would I do though? I don't know, what do you think I would do with $100,000? I want to know what the chat would think I would do. I guess you gotta have a good business card if you work freelance. Okay, that's something else. I didn't actually... What? Wow. I just got a comment saying, since you didn't actually read all the tutorial or focus on the top screen, both when reading the tutorial and when racing DDD, allow me to explain how Gourmet Race actually works. I mean, I won the race. Man, but that was such an old episode I got that comment on. That was Kirby Superstar Ultra. I played that a long time ago. Really, what's this, a camera lens finder? Do reporters take photos too? I guess if he's freelance, he'd have to. Maybe you should try being a prosecutor and a defense attorney. You always win. Why don't I become a rock star too while I'm at it? Become all at once. I think you would give your favorite Pixel Dog a PS5 in Fall Guys. Huh, like I can get a PS5 right now. Woohoo, this is it, Apollo! The place where magic and dreams converge! Just a while ago, it was the place where murder and nightmares converged. Let's go say hi to Uncle Valent! What about the case? Only a performer laughs like that, the young Miss Trucy! How often I hope we meet again, only to tell myself it was an impossible dream! Yeah, Uncle Valent, how's it going? I'm glad to see you too. Of course you are. Humility is definitely not one of his stronger traits. Well, Miss Trucy, how does the day find you? If you come to give me flowers, do it after the show, I beg you. Actually, we came to wish you good luck. And congrats on your big magic show. Oh, but it's I who wish to congratulate you. Not everyone is so lucky as to witness miracles such as I shall perform. Yeah, you're amazing. We get the picture. The world will watch in wonderment as Magnifi's illusions are reborn. Here on stage by my hand. Oh boy, Yellow Man, here we are. Everyone's talking about the big magic show. Is it true that the Grimoire Miracle is back after a 7-year absence? Miss Trucy, I must apologize. This show and this honor should have been his. Daddy. My co-magician in training, Zach Grimoire, if that terrible thing hadn't. It's okay. Your father was a great magician, Trucy. If he were alive, then I, Valent Grimoire, would have been proud to stand upon the stage as his assistant. Thanks, Uncle Valent. You know, I'm happy you're doing the show. To think we get to see the great Magnifi's illusions again. He really is looking forward to this, isn't she? My mentor, the magnificent Magnifi Grimoire, was a true deity among magicians. A creator god who gave birth to magic and illusions that defied our very imaginations. I was so little when I last saw one, but I still remember his shows. He did wheelies in a sports car through the air above the audience, and then sped off to outer space faster than the speed of sound. I'm guessing that memory was a bit embellished. For 7 long years, the world has been waiting for a miracle to match his. As heir to the Grimoire Troop's secrets, it falls to me to provide one. It is my God-given destiny. Yes, you, nameless face who speaks for the nameless masses. How can I help you? If the world was waiting, why did you hold off for 7 long years? It appears that the lad is uninformed. Perhaps you have heard of the magic known as law, which governs our land. I have, though I'm not sure it qualifies as magic. The performance of Magnifi's miracle was impossible. A certain law prevented it for 7 years, but no more. 7 years? That phrase sure likes to pop up, doesn't it? And why was that? A little matter called performance rights, Miss Trucy. Can you tell us about these performance rights? Magnifi's magic relied on an incredibly innovative idea, a trick if you will. That trick was considered his property and as such, was protected by property laws. Intellectual property maybe? Magnifi knew this, and bequeathed it in his will. The one person. You mean, him? Yes, Miss Trucy, it was your father. That Grimoire was the inheritor of the Grimoire Miracle. Daddy. Yet as you well know, he is gone. He disappeared suddenly 7 years ago. I think I see where the story is going. Once a person is classified missing for a certain period of time, they're considered legally deceased, correct? In all absoluteness, those rolled-up sleeves conceal your competence well, young man. That certain period of time of which you speak is 7 years. Ah. Yes, Miss Trucy. Though it pains me to say it, this past spring, April to be precise, was the time. Your father was legally declared deceased. The absence of a formal will. The secrets of our mighty mentor Magnifi passed to me. This was in fact stipulated in the will by Magnifi himself. Is that how it works, Apollo? Yeah, it's called death in absentia? He's declared missing permanently. It would be strange now to go back to the trilogy again after Apollo. There's no reason for me to go to the trilogy again. This game is, I'm going in order. Trilogy, Apollo, then trilogy again. Daddy. Let's see, we do have that letter, New Game Plus, Imagine. We do have this letter. I was wondering if you could tell me about this. Why that bears the Grimoire seal? Uncle Valen, is something wrong? Brucey, where did you get this? Oh, Daddy gave it to me. Your Daddy? My brother Zig, no, my other Daddy, Phoenix Wright. Why now? Why would your Lord Daddy? What is going on here? He's freaking out. Lord Daddy? That's kind of stretching the whole archaic thing a bit. The signature upon the back, do you recognize it? That belongs to none other than Zach Grimoire. What? Daddy signed this? So now we got Daddy and Lord Daddy. So Daddy is Zach and Lord Daddy is Phoenix. Make sure we get that right, alright? Make sure we get that all right. Why did I be so bold as to open it? I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that. What's in this envelope, I wonder? I don't think he liked that I said no. But wait, isn't he doing he's doing an interview too? So a journalist was here on a story? All eyes in the universe are upon my stage. All pens seek to commit its mysteries to paper. His name was Rochelle. Rochelle. Do not call me Lord Daddy. I think he remembers him. Doesn't look too happy about it. Rochelle, that glowing smell of mint when he smiles, yes. Could you tell us more about him? What did he want? He wanted to kiss Mr. Rochelle. A man by that name called on me just now. Just now? Balanced vision is always toward tomorrow. Balanced feet step always forward. That is all. That's all very confusing. I am to perform a big magic show, yes? I wanted someone to cover it. Yet he had ears only for that incident. That incident? In any case, I requested that the rapacious reporter remove himself. Rapacious. Though a painter has died, what of it? It is but a footnote in the footlights compared to the magic of Grimoire. Uncle Valen, do you know where the reporter went? I recommended he visit that place popular where penalized perpetrators. The detention center? He was a rude individual. Why'd I see that card? Sure. He would tear apart my respectability. I will tear him apart. I will tear apart him. Ooh, here it goes, Apollo. Uncle Valen's big magic trick. Is he going to fix the card? Not sure that qualifies as big magic. What happened to the big magic? It is not more miraculous for it to stay ripped. I will rip it apart. Magic! You must have really not liked that journalist. Now the time has come when I must return to make my prestidigitation preparations. By your leave, Miss Trucy. Thanks, Uncle Valen. 3 days from now, make ready for a miracle. Something will happen in 3 days. Zach Grimoire will become real in 3 days. What do you think that journalist was after? And why did Valen react like that to this envelope? I think it's time to pay the detention center another visit. I guess let's do it. Anyone remember when Golden Kappa was a thing? You mean to distract everybody? It was distracting everybody from something very weird. It was to distract everybody from the magic show, that's why. Twitch doesn't want anybody knowing about the magic show. I think I hear what you're saying. We're all doing it for the money. End quote. No, not at all. It's like someone's already meeting here. Maybe that reporter? Who's the report? Oh! That's the reporter? Is he called Brushell because his head is like a brush? He looks like a paintbrush. Hey there, how you doing? Who might you be? Sorry, we didn't know someone was already here. I'm Apollo Justice, attorney at law. Talk about a nervous monkey. You're Justice, you? You know me? Do I know you? Of course I know you! Stares down witnesses on stand till they spill beans, end quote. Wait, he also has a toothbrush. He's a oh my goodness, that's not true. What's he writing? Wait, this music. Wasn't this music from Justice for All? The Honey Clinic, that's what it is. Ew. Are you a reporter by any chance? Whoa, you're Trucy. Why are you placing your hands like that? Huh? Am I famous? Oh yeah. Trucy Wright hates carrying a bag. Puts everything she owns in her panties, end quote. Ah! That's so not true! Just hold on to your breeches there. I'll wrap up this interview in a jiffy. Interview? Oh, guard, I think I know what's going on here. Guarding rooms is my life. What else could I possibly need, end quote? No, how many times do I have to tell you this? Look, I've got work to do. You deal with him. Did you come here to interview the guard? Ooh-wee, mama, what a pickle. Accused wouldn't talk, had to interview someone or go plumb crazy, end quote. Huh? Oh, there she is, Vera! Should have guessed. Where are my manners? My name's Brushell, Spark Brushell. I'm not picky. Journalist just closes eyes, right, end quote. What's that nauseatingly strong mint smell every time he grins? A friggin' brush. He has a toothbrush. He brushes his teeth every time. Until you've been interviewed by me, you don't know what thrilling is. Wild romp through crossroads of mayhem madness. End quote. I can see that. He's writing something again. You don't trust this guy, but what if it's revealed that he's the most innocent guy in the series? What if? Well, if he's a reporter, maybe he knows something. Let me show him my badge. Ah, right, let me go on the record here. Yes? I know what you're going to say. Rochelle, take this, write brilliant column, end quote. I don't think so. Look, buddy, I write brilliant columns about one thing, and that's food. Try to understand. What could he possibly be writing? He didn't listen to a word I said. Okay, let's talk to him, I guess. His role in the story is interesting. You mean he's involved in this whole thing even more? So, Mr. Brushell, you're a journal. I mean, wait. He did do a journal thing on the victim, so he do be sus in some way. So, Mr. Brushell, you're a journalist? Yeah, me. Look, let me say one thing for the record here. Yes? I'm the interviewer, you understand, yeah? I'm the one asking the questions here, end quote. Okay. For instance, you'd think a movie director watches movies? Well, I think he probably does. Exactly, I knew you understand. Huh? Hey. So, the night of the murder, you were at Drew's studio? This guy's just weird and you've only been here since... How you doing, S2010? This guy's just weird. Everyone is weird. Even S2010 is weird. But we're all weird. Who, me? Look, let me say one thing for the record. Yes? I'm in the common collective, but I'm busy, real busy, always on the road. Journalist always buys one-way tickets and never looks back, end quote. I can understand that philosophy, but you want to know the thing about one-way tickets? Once you use them, they're gone. All because you have to give them to the guy at the airport. True enough, but don't they give normal tickets away too? Exactly, see, it's the same thing. What is? I feel sorry for Trucy. This guy's confusing as heck. So, you went to do a story on Drew Misham, and he never had a story done about him before? I thought he was gonna say, I may look calm and collected, but wait until I snap. No, that's me. That's right, look. Let me say one thing for the record here. What? I'm sure you're gonna want to know about my source. What tipped me off to Drew? Why do the interview in the first place? Well, yes. Look, it's like... Ooh, I've got it. Say there's this burger joint with fabulous ketchup. You think the burger guy is gonna tell me where he got it? The bunger guy? Bunger. At the supermarket, maybe? Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. I think I may have actually understood that one. Well, there's nothing I can talk about, really. Walls have ears, eyes, especially glass walls with speakers, end quote. Right, guess we'll leave then. Ah, but since you're here, might as well tell you a tidbit of news I saw just for the heck of it. Sure, tell us, just for the heck of it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I seen a movie on a trip and wandered into this burger place with amazing ketchup, when an article in a tabloid caught my eye. Famous oil painting stolen from art dealer's gallery, end quote, I believe it was. An oil painting? Happens every day, right? But I thought I'd seen that painting somewhere before. A painting of a giant peach floating down a river. Someone stole an oil painting of a giant peach. Journalists can smell scoop better than burgers, them bungers, end quote. That's interesting. You mean the painting that I have right now? Let me try presenting this. Is it this? Ah, right, let me go on the record here. Yes? Oh, I guess he doesn't take that. What about this one here? Okay, I guess he takes nothing then. I guess we're done here. Yay. Oh, okay, we're supposed to go back here. Fantastic. Well, how'd it go? Find anything out? Actually, there was one thing I wanted to check with you. What's with that scary face you're making? And what's with the I know something but I'm not telling face you got going on, Emma? See. Oh, wait, let me see if there's something new to talk about. If not, maybe it's the paintings that Mr. Bristle was talking about. This hidden one. This painting came from behind that dresser. Ah, yes, so? It was stolen, no? I was hoping you wouldn't figure that out. Do you think you could tell us a bit about this? I suppose it's what you think. Drew Misham was a forger. A forger? Oh, we're getting somewhere now. A forger? Oh. Emma, quite double horns, I'm eating food. So, what exactly is a forger? Well, basically, it's someone who makes forgeries. Fakes, in other words. Fakes? Copies of an original. Exact copy, so precise you can't tell them apart. Well, why not just photocopy them? The big problem with forgeries is that people try to sell them as the real article, like Red from Animal Crossing or Red from Animal Crossing. It's a crime, of course. So Drew Misham was a criminal? I'm afraid so. He received money to create elaborate forgeries. To supplement his work in illustration, I guess. I see. Actually, that's why I brought this here in the first place. What do you mean? When you're trying to determine if a painting is a forgery, the rough sketch underneath can be a valuable clue. But the rough sketch is like practice for the real thing. Like doing a magic trick in front of a mirror before you go on stage. But not in the case of a forgery, not necessarily anyway. You know what the finished product is going to look like after all. Oh yeah, I guess you would. That's why I brought this. I'm going to use it to see what's under the... Oh, I guess now we're going to take a look at the paintings. I get it now. Not that I really needed to go to such lengths, seeing as how one of the paintings was only half finished anyway. Still, it'd be neat to see Mr. Misham's rough sketches. Kind of like what he was drawing when he thought no one was looking. True, that would be interesting and maybe valuable for our case. You should try butting her up, Apollo. Flattery will get you everywhere, they say. Maybe I should ask someone to help us out. Alright, let's try looking at the paintings over here. Let's start with the one with the sketch underneath. I kind of wanted to see the rough sketch under this painting. And I was wondering if your tool there might do the trick? Oh, fine, just this time, though. Let's check it out. Oh, I gotta choose one. Oh, I'll do this one with the peach. Who's ready to look at paintings? Paintings, I love to go look paintings. Give me that forgery. I really wanna see what's the fake all about. So I too can make forgeries and have fun making forgeries and be a criminal and go to jail. La 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 la. Solus, you love this part? This part is actually pretty fun though. I enjoy doing this. Just finding out the truth beneath the painting. Oh, I guess we got this one done. Wait, what? A man? Wait, is that supposed to be Gavin? It's a guy on top of a tower burning on fire. That's supposed to be Gavin? What the heck? Wow, he really blows. The finished painting isn't anything like the rough. Devices like mine didn't exist until recently. He probably thought he could draw any sort of thing he wanted for the rough. What do you mean? Well, in the past, you could only analyze the composition of a rough sketch. Composition? In other words, the traces of charcoal... Larry Butts? No, he went by a different name. What was the name he went by in Trials and Tribulations? In other words, the traces of charcoal between paint and canvas. You could tell if there had been a rough sketch. But not what it looked like. Ah, I think I follow you. So in essence, it wouldn't matter what was underneath the finished painting. Maurice Donim, that's the name! He went through Maurice. Some pros would actually paint out a rough sketch entirely. Do a completely new painting on top of that. So Mr. Misham was drawing whatever he wanted before painting over them. Possibly. Is there a problem with that? Not particularly, but something about the sketch is kinda odd. You're awfully silent all of a sudden, Apollo. You think we could check out one of the other paintings? Well, sure. You like this detection stuff, don't ya? Alright, let's try the middle one, Blowfish. Pufferfish. Spiky Blowboy. Alright, let's see what we got here this time. But the first one was really weird. It was Gavin on fire with his guitar on top of a tower. Imagine if the other paintings also show what happened in previous cases. Imagine if that was the thing, like Drew Misham just knew. It's underwater. It's underwater, Apollo? Oh, I think I got this one. Wait, what's going on here? Wait a minute. This is from the second case. It's the noodle cards. This one too. What's wrong, Apollo? You look so serious all of a sudden. You think I could just look at the last of these? Fine by me, knock yourself out. Okay. Okay, this is getting really weird. What is going on here? All these paintings show what happened out of a previous case. What is going on? When were these paintings made? And if this one is gonna be the first case, then then this is getting really strange then. I mean, the two paintings so far, they were from previous cases. If this one is too... Wait a minute, I see the cards. I see the cards. Oh my goodness! This is from the first case! It's the What the heck is all this? I hesitate to ask why you're getting so excited. You sure your device isn't leaking some kind of strange radiation? Rosie, look at these 3 sketches! Do you notice anything? Case number 1. Case number 2. Case number 3. Ah! There! Didn't Brusho say he was following Apollo's cases? What if Drew did that too? But he never steps outside. How else would he know? Now you're both white as sheets. What's going on? These sketches are the 3 cases I worked on. What? The murder in the poker room at the Borscht Bowl Club. The dead man pulling the noodle stand. And then the events that transpired during the Governor's concert. What could it mean? How could he have painted those things? And why? That's what I want to know. Wait, is Drew Misham your father? What? Give me a break! Does that seem even remotely possible to you? Maybe he could have read about the cases in the newspaper? It could be, but this is weird. I'd never even heard of any Drew Misham before. I hadn't even seen a picture of him. But there were my cases drawn on his canvases. Every single one of them. It couldn't have been a coincidence. Just who was this Drew Misham? And what did he have to do with me? To be continued. Next time on the stream. I don't know. What do you think, stream? Should we continue on? Do you want to continue? Let me know if you want to continue right now. While I slurp. Go, go, go. Oh, okay. We'll move on. We'll continue on. Let's do it. Alright, let's begin court. Vera, good morning. So you're Vera, right? I'm Trucy. Trucy Wright. That's right, with a W, but not, right. Right? We're on your side. You can tell us anything, please. Good morning. She speaks. Not bad, not bad. But hey, we gotta give her a rousing applause for that. Like, she did it. She spoke. She really spoke. Not bad, not bad. But I think you do better with a little smile, you know? You're so pretty. You need to sell yourself, you know? Sell yourself. Brucey, let's take it easy for starters. Oh. Thank you for oh, look at this! Look at the shirt. It's a little lion. Is a lion? Is it a lion? How she draw that in one smooth? She went. Thank you for taking my case. Okay, well that's a start, I guess. There she goes with the nail polish again. That's great, really. It's so cultured. Oh, another drawing? Oh, want to try? Ooh, really? Girls. I mean, nowadays even guys paint their nails. The victim, Drew Misham, was a forger, and a stolen painting was found in the studio. A life of crime, really? And maybe one that led to his death. Let the court case begin! Let's do it! Of course, it's Gavin. Well, we will now begin the trial of Vera Misham. Is the judge okay? His voice is all raspy and he's looking around all nervous like. The repercussions of today's trial will most likely be felt for a long time, and may indeed alter our legal system forever. Today is a test of the juris system, and the first step toward a new order in our courts. Daddy's secret mission! The jurors will function like a jury. It is hoped their inclusion will help the courts better reflect the people's will. Why aren't there any jurists in the courtroom? 3 closed-circuit cameras watch this courtroom at all times. This cameras what? The jurors have access to everything that transpires. Jurors, Judge Well and Judge Cool. Now see here, Prosecutor Gavin. I was gonna say that. My apologies here, Judge. Jurors, today, judge today's trial coolly, if you would be so kind. Jurors are unbound by the letter of the law. They don't affect the trial with evidence, but by their feelings. I feel this is gonna be a weird case. My apology. Come on, Dolus. And we're about to find out just what effect they're gonna have. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, the details of the case if you would. The victim is the painter Drew Misham. He was killed in his own studio. His coffee was poisoned. By whom, you ask? By none other than the defendant, Vera Misham. There wasn't any poison in the coffee. Chung, someone has been doing their homework. Indeed, poison was not present in the coffee, but on the mug itself. The mug? Residue was found on the rim, I see. The autopsy report describes the manner of our victim's death. The court accepts this as evidence. Right, now we got that. According to this report, the victim's death was caused by atroquinine poisoning, a chemical compound that does not occur naturally. Lethal dosage is a mere 0.0000002 milligram. Hello, Greninja, welcome to the stream. A touch of atroquinine in the body is the touch of a Reaper's scythe. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin, you may present your witness. I have for you today a simple man for a simple case. A man who witnessed the murder in its entirety. That journalist, no doubt. Oh boy, Mr. Brushhead again. The witness will state his name and occupation. Right. Well, for starters, my name is Spark Brushel. My job is lone observer of the world. In other words, a freelance journalist, right? If you don't mind, I'd like to state something here for the record. Yes, Mr. Brushel? I dislike conclusions, specifically the jumping to aspects of conclusions. Preconceptions make park sandbox of endless desert waste, end quote. Isn't his name Toothbrush? It could be. But you are a journalist. You said so yourself yesterday. Well, that's true, yes, but you must understand I stand before you today a man with a dream. I'm offering you my testimony in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. You've turned Mr. Brushel into that Mr. Brushel, end quote. Let's hear your testimony then, shall we? A simple case, eh, Gavin? For me, the jury is still out. Let's see how this all works out. Got a witness testimony, let's do it. I visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. The first outsider to enter the atelier. Journalistic history made, end quote. His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. And you know what happened next. Door falls, end quote. No one else entered the room beside her all the whole time. His eyes bug out a lot. That does sound like a simple case. Unless you were the one who poisoned them. What do you say, Judge? Need I remind you the cameras are rolling today? I felt the need to be a bit dramatic. Did you know that atroquinine doesn't actually exist, like hydroxyase lunodosate? Oh my, it's hydroxyase uno dos tres. It's literally hydroxyase 1, 2, 3. Uno doce trace. Yeah, I've heard about the previous one, Dolus. You didn't do it, did ya? Me do a thing like that? Come on, that's like newsmaker making the news, end quote. Or even contemporary witch hunt, end quote. I know. Wild accusations rock courtroom, end quote. Rock indeed. Prosecutor Gavin sure looks like he's having fun. I'm so happy for him. Very well, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please. How is this gonna go with him? He always bugs out and freaks out and is very sussy. Alright, he visited the studio around 9 that night to do the interview. 9 at night? Isn't that a little late for an interview? If the great painter Drew Misham says come at 9, believe you me, I go at 9. The first and, as it turned out, last interview with such a prolific painter. Right, can you tell us what it was like when you arrived? The first outsider to enter the atelier, journalistic history made it, quote. You were the first reporter ever in Drew's studio? Posterity will look back on that night as a turning point in journalistic history. A basically insignificant step for all mankind, but a giant step for that Brusho guy, end quote. If no one else on the outside ever had access to the studio, then it would serve to reason that the deed was done by an insider, by which he means Vera did it. So how did this epoch-making interview go? His daughter brought us coffee right after we started. Would you mind being a little more specific? Ooh-wee, mama, let me tell you, I enjoy a cuppa. In fact, it all began when I was in 3rd grade. No, wait, 4th grade. That's not what I meant! I believe I know what her forehead is driving at. This coffee the victim was served. Did anyone other than the defendant touch it? Right, that. That's what I was gonna say, really. Well, now, if you got a question to ask, you best straight up ask it. That's what I tell all the new recruits, several times if necessary. Write for a grade schooler. That's my motto. Which isn't to say I can only write great Who touched the coffee? Dunno. I was in the back looking at the studio's equipment when she served it. And what happened next? And you know what happened next? Star falls, end quote. What's this about a star falling? Star falls, huh? It's like an old telegram. Send money over. Doo-wee! You don't know? That's like a journalism code word. An important personage passes away, a star falls, get it? But there's no gravity in space, is there? I wouldn't think stars could fall, really. Does this matter? Oh boy, this is good stuff, good stuff. How about star breaks? Nah, lacks punch. I know, star dies. Nah, lacks imagination. Of course, you could go with Drew dies, straight to the point, I like it. I think we need to hear about something a little more substantial. The star, yeah, the coffee. Yeah, Mr. Misham had the coffee too. But did you actually see him drink the coffee? Of course. He who sees it wins, but he who says it wins bigger, end quote. I live in a man sees dog eat world and writes about it world. Yep. Yep. I guess I can't say I saw him drink it really. He had one so-called sip, if that. Man puts lip to mug, drinks, end quote. That poison is quite virulent, I hear. My stomach did a so-called somersault that I gulped down that coffee without so much as a second glance at it. Wait, maybe something's there. Some kind of so-called trick. Anyone want to venture a guess for the record? Does this guy have a pause button? Well, Mr. Justice, did you find that testimony valuable? Yeah, let's take it. The victim drank his coffee, then immediately fell over? Oh, yes, you can go to the press with that one. Your Honor, this is a vital piece of information. Please add it to the testimony. Very well, the witness will add this to his testimony. Vital, right. He had one sip if that. The next moment, he was on the floor. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's weird because doesn't the poison take 15 minutes to act? So that is a big, bold objection! Objection! There we go. You know what I have a problem with? A particular property of the poison used. Atroquinine. Oh, Prosecutor Gavin was quite clear about the poison. A lethal dosage of 0.002 milligrams paralyzes the central nervous system. If you drank that, even you, Mr. Justice, will be reduced to a quivering pile of... Are you using me as an example? Unfortunately, we weren't told everything. There was a vital omission in Prosecutor Gavin's information. An omission? Atroquinine is as virulent as he says, but death doesn't come up in ingestion. Not immediately. That's because atroquinine is slow-acting. Slow-acting? Whoa, what? According to one forensic scientist, it's one of the most virulent poisons, but it's absorbed into the body astonishingly slowly. It takes at least 15 minutes from the time of ingestion for adverse effects to show. 15 minutes. If we suppose that the moment Mr. Misham sipped the coffee was when he sealed his fate, then he would have still had time left to enjoy his last cup of joe. Order! What's the meaning of this? If what the defense says is correct, why, that contradicts the entire testimony we just heard. Well, Mr. Brushel, this is getting so insane, I don't even have time to space your word. Why'd I spend time reading that? Well, Mr. Brushel, anything to say on the record? Slow acting. Slow act. It was virtual and alright. Even then, it had already begun digging its claws into the journalist. He's working on a scoop. Objection! Stop the music! It's Brushel, yeah? Air Brushel. Let's take a trip back down memory lane. Huh? But the victim really died the instant he took a sip. Think it over. This is vital. You know what I think? I think that was a not-so-subliminal missuggestion. End quote. Airbrush. Airbrushel. I admit, it does cause a problem if he died when you say he died. I would be forced to say Ad Wiedersehen to my simple case. And you will be forced to say farewell to your article. Come again? You can't write a story based on conjecture, can you? And as the case drags on, other reporters will pick up the scent. And you'll be forced to kiss your exclusive scoop goodbye. Oh. Ooh. Ew, I do not like. Stop that. Look, just wait a second. Just 1 second. We're waiting. I wouldn't. I think I just recalled a so-called important detail. A revival of recollection, end quote. A story survival, end quote. Attorney utterly confused, end quote. Actually, I did notice something when I visited the studio. I heard a poison that takes its sweet time, see? But not what I've been saying for the last few minutes, apparently. Mr. Brushel, are you saying you noticed something that explains what happened? You bet I am. The antidote for a poisonous contradiction, end quote, you might say. End quote, end quote. Or I still have no idea what you're talking about, end quote, I might say. The sass? The sass meter is through the roof in this case. I figured it out, but only after an in-depth interview. See? Thanks to my journalism skills, I know who poisoned that coffee. He's so lanky. Order! As far as I can tell, the witness is standing by his testimony that Mr. Misham died the instant after he drank. Of course I'm standing by my testimony and my dream of exclusive rights to this story. I suppose it was too much to hope for. What was? Of course you wouldn't choose a simple case, not him. Him? Phoenix Wright, who else? Chung Airbrushel, report for us if you would. What is it that you noticed? You want to quote, end quote him, end quote. Stop end quoting. This court is a critical trial of the juris system. I'm afraid no room for doubt is permissible. You will testify to the court about what you noticed. Alright, let's do it. What he noticed. What did he notice? When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. I thought nothing of it at the time, of course. Now that I think about it, what if he was writing a suicide note? No, he wasn't. A suicide note? Yes, he had this look on his face. Man's face inscrutable as a quadratic equation. End quote. Suicide? Poor Mr. Misham. But that means Vera's innocent. Would someone commit suicide in the middle of an interview? Just imagine, like, why would I do that? In the middle of a stream, no. Oh. Very well, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright, let's see what we can get out of this one. By the way, I hope everybody on stream's doing alright. Hope you're relaxing, hope you're enjoying yourselves, hope you're doing alright on this Friday night. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Misham was at his desk. Was there anyone at the studio other than Mr. Misham? Well, his daughter Vera, of course. Was anyone beside Mr. Misham and Vera present? You're doing amazing and... Not a single one, not a cat, not a rat, not even a mouse. The only person who didn't belong to that studio there was you, wasn't it, Mr. Brushel? I know what you're doing. I know your game. Attorney uses classic Ramsden phenomenon ploy, end quote. If you intend to suggest that this reporter is a suspect, I'm sure you also intend to present evidence supporting that assertion, correct? In the meantime, let's move along, shall we? He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. Pixel dies, not clickbait, gone wrong, end quote. So much end quoting. So he put the letter away when he saw you. Early reporter gets worm, end quote. That's my secret. I'm not sure I follow. It's the night of the interview. I arrive 15 minutes ahead of the schedule. The handle turns, the door opens, and I barge in. Are you sure that's okay to do? I mean, isn't that unlawful entry, really? I mean, if he just barged on in, who leaves the door unlocked? Mr. Misham, sir, seemed to think so. You should have seen him. He crammed his letter into that yellow envelope as fast as he could. I know a secret when I spot one, and that was one. It does seem significant. Well, Mr. Justice, I wondered. It does have the ring of something important. Let's add it. The defense finds this testimony valid, Your Honor. Very well, please add it to the testimony then. Hey, why not? My account comes free of charge. It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. Wait, you mean this one here? It's red. This is the one that he was trying to hide, right? Gonna try it. Red. Objection! That worked. As it just so happens, there was a single letter in a desk drawer at the scene. In a red envelope. Yeah. Who chokes themselves like that? They're squeezing their head with their tie. Prosecutor Gavin. Yes? Was a yellow envelope found at the scene of the crime? Unfortunately, no, but Air Forehead. It's easy to mistake the color of an envelope. I guess, but not this envelope. You see, it was postmarked already 7 years ago. Well, Mr. Brushel, I can explain that. True, right? He wanted to get that letter in an envelope pronto. Get it out of my sight, beady eyes. Get it out of my sight, beady eyes, right? So he grabbed the nearest envelope and crammed away. And what about the whole red and yellow envelope contradiction, chump? I know there's so many 7 years ago thingies. Well, Mr. Justice, have you anything to say to the witness's claim? That night, the victim put a letter he had been writing in a red envelope. Let's say it is possible. It's entirely possible. But Apollo, we checked the contents of the envelope yesterday, didn't we? Oh, you're right. Oh, the answer was clear if I only give it a little thought. What if? As it just so happens, the defense team investigated the contents of this envelope with the assistance of a forensic scientist. What? Note that this letter is addressed to Drew Misham. Oh? Why would he address a letter to himself? Let alone send a suicide note to himself. I've been scooped. He has been scooped. Order, order, order. Mr. Brushel, can you explain this to the court? Oh, my, how could I have forgotten? I suppose this happens to the best of us. Reporter gets old, forgets a lot, end quote. I'm still waiting for an explanation, Mr. Brushel. That's the thing, see, after he puts his letter in the envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote. A stamp? Whatever for? Well, to mail his letter, what else? Welcome back, Firebrand. And then, well, yes, I think I saw him put it in this letter box. Yes, it was a yellow envelope, and he put it in that box. Well, apparently, this yellow letter has nothing to do with this case. Oh, how I wish it did. Just think if that were a suicide note, what a story. I would easily get a promotion. The R-rate suicide note in front of reporter falls, end quote. As I was saying, that has nothing to do with this case. That said, yes, Your Honor, it makes me wonder about the contents of that red envelope. Yeah, the $100,000. I want that. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I want my money now. Give me. $100,000 is quite a good deal of money. So this was from 7 years ago, yeah? So am I finished? Am I finished here? I was thinking of, going home to start writing. So was he just thinking of leaving? Like, alright, I'ma head out then. Like, who thinks that? I hate to state what should be pretty obvious to anyone, but when you catch the scent of a story, you make that, rather unique face. Come on! Attorney has active imagination, little wells, end quote. Even I noticed something and my eyes aren't what they used to be. I'm starting to understand what all this perceiving stuff is about. Judge has active imagination, end quote. Please continue with your testimony. Tell us about the scent of the story. Hey, I'm the one asking the questions here, usually. Another testimony. What does it smell like? Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. That red envelope probably has something to do with it. Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. So you threatened to go to the press with the story. That's how you got your interview? Blackmail? Well, yeah. No. It wasn't exactly black. I'm not. Something wrong, Mr. Brushel? Look, this is my story, my tidbit. Journalist info is livelihood, end quote. I see. Well, you have me chatting away in here. What's going on out there? What if some Wally Wordsworth or Sally Scooper gets wind of my story? They could be going to press while I'm going to waste. The court feels your pain, Mr. Brushel. The justice, let's pick up the pace. A certain case 7 years ago. Wait, 7 years ago? 7 years ago? What's going on 7 years ago? Oh, the bracelet's reacting. Actually, it took a bit of work to get a thumbs up on the interview. But where exactly? The victim Drew Misham had an aversion to reporters? Boy, I guess not even my considerable charms did much for him. Until I got my thumbs up, that is. Maybe you can elaborate on that a bit for us. Reporter leverages story, gets his interview, end quote. Exactly what sort of story was this? Oh, a little one, like I said. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing in between, end quote. I might have suggested I had a lead on this particular story, but I didn't threaten or cajole or cohole or nothing honest. So a suggestion was enough to get an interview? Mr. Misham must have really wanted to keep it under wraps. The story concerned a certain case from 7 years ago. A certain case 7 years ago? Tell us, what case? Let me say one thing, Mr. Attorney, and you can quote me on this. I can't talk about that case. Why not? It's about journalistic pride and staunchness and credibility and connections. Journalist reveals sources only over his dead body, end quote. So what'll it be, gonna strangle me? Dead man don't tell tales, Mr. Attorney. He sounds pretty determined not to talk. Our chances of breaking his will aren't looking good. That red envelope probably has something to do with it. On the one hand, we have your story, on the other, this letter. What makes you think the two are related? Well, I was just saying it's possible. Follow the reporter's intuition, end quote. Hey, I say a lot of things. You're gonna pick all of them apart? Be my guest. All of them? No, just the incredibly suspicious ones. I see. Anything else to add about Mr. Misham? Say what you will, but Drew's talent was without compare. Just how amazing was Mr. Misham's talent? Huh? Ooh, boy, hey, he was a star, man, a star. The flow of his brush is like a great undulating river. Artist paints up light up studio like sun, end quote. This guy is full of wacky gestures, but that one just now was wackier than usual. Oh, I think we got our sus quote, end quote. Definitely, I'm sensing something different than before here. Maybe it's time to bring out you-know-what. That testimony left a bad taste in my mouth. It all makes sense, nothing jumps out as ridiculous. I wonder what this story he's talking about is. It must have been good to get an interview with a famous recluse like that. Something powerful enough to drag Drew Misham out of hiding. I wonder. Maybe it had something to do with Mr. Misham's art? Let's see, let's go activate, bracelet. Magical light bracelet, go! Let's see, anything I have to look really sus over here on his face? What you will, but Drew Misham's talent. I'm seeing nothing really sus with his face so far. Was without compare. Nothing out of the ordinary though. Maybe I should look around elsewhere? Maybe something starts jiggling or something? Say what you will, but Drew Misham's talent. Wait a minute. That wasn't there. Wait, hold on a second. Did he just sweat there in his armpit? And did his armpit sweat like you see no sweat, right? But then when he goes to the next line, he sweats. But then after this line, the body just sucks up the sweat back. Look at that. How do you sweat like that? Is it possible to sweat like that? Or you need deodorant. Gotcha. You're sweating. Sweat much, Mr. Brushel? Well, yeah. A man can't help his glands, you know. It's more than that. When Mr. Misham's talent was mentioned, you suddenly began to sweat buckets. You're hiding something about his talent. What? That is ridiculous. Evidence time. Let's show where Mr. Misham's true talent lay. It just so happens I have evidence showing the talent mentioned in that letter. It has to be the forgery. He got the stolen, stealing art. Take that! There we go. This painting was found in Mr. Misham's studio. There are two problems with this painting. The first is it wasn't painted by Mr. Misham. The second is that there was another painting in the studio, which looked exactly like this one, except it was only half done. Then we have a letter discussing a payment of $100,000, which suggests a certain business operation. The business of making forgeries. How do you do that? Like, how do you wrap a tie around your head? Like, he still has it on, like, somebody help, my face is stuck this way. Shiny Pokemon! Yay! Holy heck, I needed a stretch. That is all, Your Honor. Everyone, please, everyone! Can we keep this private, please? This is my story, my scoop. Everybody's typing about it on Twitter like, forgery. Forgery, that's a serious crime. Drew Misham is known as an artist these days, but there were rumors he dabbled in another kind of art until a few years back. Another art meaning forgery? Drew Misham was talented, alright. Talented at making precise, detailed fakes. A fact that certain criminal elements were quick to discover. Criminal elements? What? You can't seriously be talking about... Exactly, I'm talking about forging Scoop, did Edgeworth work with Drew Misham? End quote. Because remember, Edgeworth also was doing forging evidence. Remember back in Phoenix Wright 1? Did he work with Drew Misham? The rumor started circulating 7 years ago. Edgeworth forged evidence? There were rumors in the newspapers in the first game. Like, it was in the newspapers. I don't know if he actually ever did forge evidence, but people really disliked Edgeworth so much that they thought he did. 7 years ago? So are we to understand that this letter, this payment of $100,000 was for... Exactly. Forged evidence nets tidy profit, end quote. Holy heck, we're going to forged evidence over here. Why, it's like our victim was living a double life. Is the best of the world. Aha, this is my chance. So the victim had ties to the criminal world, right? He could have plenty of enemies we know nothing about. Objection! This is my first time hearing of this criminal world. We certainly found no criminal connections when we conducted our investigation. Objection! But how do you explain all this money? You have to admit there's a possibility of some illegal activity here. But there is no proof tying this letter to our case. Our case was and remained simple from the beginning. Only the defendant could have poisoned that mug that night. And you, of course. Hey, the only thing I poison is my pen when I'm writing reviews. I'm the angry video game nerd. Mr. Brusher, your testimony to this point has been quite unreliable. It doesn't speak well of your reporting acumen. What are you talking about? My journalism is rock solid. Journalism so solid you can stand on an elephant on it, end quote. In any case, let's hear a summarized recap of your testimony. If we can ascertain the situation in that studio from the recap, the trial is over. Apollo, what's he talking about? The cross-examination showed Mr. Brusher didn't have reason or means to poison him. As long as there's no other suspects, then the killer had to be Vera, that's what. This next testimony is our last chance. Last chance. Mr. Brusher, your testimony, please. Pizza time. Last chance. This is your last chance. The only other person in that studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug, and nothing left that studio after he died. Nothing. Clearly, the one who could have poisoned him was his own daughter. Short. A nice testimony, clear, succinct, and without room for doubt. Ah, shucks, you really think so? I believe this clarifies the situation that night. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination. No, he didn't do it again. He found it, and then he caught it, Pixel Dog. Read the chat. I still have one trump card left to play, though. And I won't let this trial end until I use it. Jeez, Pixel Dog, bro, celebration, why don't you? Alright, let's do it. The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. But that doesn't prove Vera poisoned it. How many times have we heard that one, Air Forehead? The poison reached its victim via that coffee mug. And from where did that coffee come from, though? Not to beat a dead horse again and again, but perhaps you could fill us in? I'm on it. You need a horse beat? I'm your man. You need to... Alright, bye, Pixel Dog. End quote. It was Vera who poured the coffee. She admitted as much herself. And you witnessed her pouring the coffee. Of course I didn't witness it. When she came in with that tray, the coffee was already poured and steaming. Let us not forget the defendant has admitted to pouring the coffee herself. I heard her statement. I poured, I served, and I killed. What? That last part was just a little joke. I don't think I'm gonna get anywhere with this coffee mug. I need to find another weak spot in this case. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug. You're sure about that? Well, to be really precise, I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time. One of those candies might have been poisoned. Yet at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room. And no mint residue was found. It was a long shot anyway. Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this. You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some proof, the possibility is there, I can feel it, just maybe not prove it, not yet. And possibility isn't gonna cut it, not now. Mr. Misham ingested that poison via route other than coffee. Oh, can I prove it though with the coffee? Wait. No. There's no way he ingested another way. It can't be proven. I do believe our little forehead is growing up. Pity, we like the rash, youthful forehead best. Another hole in this case that needs plugging before I can prove anything. But first things first, I better uncover a weak spot before I try to strike again. On with the cross-examination. I was gonna say, we found poison on the little frame, but ingesting is a different story. Not one thing, you sure? Yep, sure as sure can be. Well, with one exception. One exception, what? Journalist Spark Brusho does interview, leave studio, end quote. Come on, it's a joke, Ed, and not funny, I know, but still. Did something leave the studio that night? Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts, I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night? Oh, wait. I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually. A certain something that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean something other than our witness? Of course. Don't tell me, Vera Misham. Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional. Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you. But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene. The letterbox. Box. Take that! This is the only link between that studio and the outside world. A letterbox? What did Mr. Brosho just tell us? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder, the victim had just finished writing a letter. Yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true. Furthermore, you went out to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox. Ah, but that very same letterbox was empty. In other words, that night the yellow envelope disappeared. Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Of course, this changes nothing. Huh? He has a point, Mr. Justice. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Misham. Is it really important that this envelope the witness says he saw disappeared? Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me. Very well then, the witness will add this to his testimony. You got it. I still think this fails to change anything here, Forehead. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene that night. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for. The letter was put into the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. Hold it! Nothing could be more serious than an envelope disappearing from that studio, and you are hiding that fact from us. Yes, well, actually, I don't argue the possibility that a letter disappeared from that studio, but here, Forehead, isn't there a much more serious question before us? Right, how Mr. Misham was poisoned, I know. But Mr. Brosho's testimony has changed, which means the facts of the case have too. And what he's told us means something entirely different now, I'm starting to think. Wait a minute, maybe the only thing that touched his lips during the interview was that mug. But maybe if I go back to this... Well, let me try something. Since the facts have been changed, maybe instead of ingesting it, there was another way. I can prove it. Here goes nothing. Ah, great. He's showing off on his little guitar. You do understand what we need, yeah? Proof here, Forehead, not possibilities. Of course. And Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand. I'm ready to give you that proof. What did you say? I have proof of the disappearing envelope. I saw him writing a letter, I did. Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. Of course, which means that envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp? Huh. As we all know, stamps come with dry glue on the back. And in order to use the glue, you have to wet it by licking the stamp. Oh. No one worth talking to actually licks stamps in this day and age. Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't. He's dead after all. Okay, so he licked the stamp, but wait. How does that explain the atropine on the rim of the coffee mug? If you lick the back of a poisoned stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would then happen if he put the coffee mug to his mouth, Oh, those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing, it was the other way around. What? The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Misham. Mr. Misham poisoned the coffee mug himself. Oh, we're getting in this now. Order! But that doesn't... Does it? Recall if you would. Atropine is a slow-acting poison, yes? The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope. But his time wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of joe. So wait, if the poison is on the picture little frame thingy, he put his lips to it? Oh, wait a minute. Touch frame, touch stamp, put it on an envelope, get that on your fingers. Ink? Anyone excited for Christmas? What's Christmas? You have something to add, Mr. Brushel? Uh-oh, his nose is picking up another scent. As I believe I mentioned earlier. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in the envelope, the Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, end quote. The tree got put up to... Oh yeah, Thanksgiving is over, so now it's Christmas! But you know, I don't ever seem to remember him finding one. I don't seem to remember him finding one. Maybe he just run out? Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime. There were no stamps. Not a single one. That does pose a problem. How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison? Actually, I'm glad to know what the stamps were found. It makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible. Good show, good show. You can't even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place. Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway. What's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp? A tiny frame, though. Like, what is on the frame that has all this stuff, though? Poison! Stamp! Take that! Take that!
Take that!
There we go. Well, that certainly is a cute little frame. And by little, I mean really little. It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor. Quite empty, as you can see for yourself. I noticed that too during my inspection, so what? Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been. You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing some... Did a bell go? You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important. Missing something? Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame. Atroquinine residue! What? Why wasn't I told about this? The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller. Maybe an inch wide at most. You aren't saying... Oh, but I am. Tell me, what fits in such a small frame? A commemorative stamp, perhaps? Oh. He used the stamp in the frame to send the letter. The poison stamp was in this frame? Impossible. But Prosecutor Gavin, why would he put something like that on his desk? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck. You know, can I say something? I had a thought, see? Well, Mr. Brushel, please stop jittering around like that. The victim was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work. Forger forges friends, makes enemies too. End quote. So the poison stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him.
Objection!
Damn, but could have been there this whole time, all these years. Oh, Rich, that's Rich. Leave the ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gaviner's song lyrics, please. Finally, something we agree on. The stamp was a murder weapon? Nonsense. Murder is a simple business. Who would go to such lengths? No one. Oh, I disagree. Come again? Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle. Through Misham hid from the world, he avoided meetings. His only contact with the outside world was the mail. The mail! Now, if you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew red letters, a stamp would be the perfect weapon! A stamp as a freaking murder weapon. Show us evidence that this poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon. I might not have evidence per se, but things are finally starting to come together. What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling. I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it. I think I know how Mr. Misham was killed. Well, fill us in, Mr. Justice. A certain piece of evidence points to the truth, Your Honor. I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Misham the stamp of death. The envelope from 7 years ago! 7 years ago. Do it.
Take that!
Thank you. Isn't this the envelope, the one from 7 years ago? Think about the text of the letter again. There were 2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1. And this is page 2. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular. Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days. The enclosed stamp, Your Honor. Oh. In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, poison on the stamp, lick, lick, gasp, end quote. Now, what if we have done exactly as the letter asked? He would sign the document, put it in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right? Then he would put it in his letterbox. 15 minutes wouldn't have elapsed between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when the time came, he drew his last breath. I get it. And the murder weapon would be taken away from the scene. Holy heck, what is this? It's so complex, but it makes a lot of sense too. Like, what the heck? Why, conveniently, thanks to the postal system. Thanks to the postal system, a guy died. Such a splendid imagination you have here, Forehead. Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might. So, this poison stamp was inside this envelope from 7 years ago, yeah? Is that what you have us believe, really? Well, it is a little bit of a stretch, but there's a possibility. Yes, a very small possibility. How small, I wonder? A poison stamp in this envelope? A stamp that then became the murder weapon? How do you intend to prove this seeming coincidence? Well, it was 7 years ago and we don't even know who sent that letter. And your answer is silent, I see. Very well, I move too. It's not nice to pick on the Fraulein Clavier. Wait, Christoph? Wait, Emma? Wait, what? Christoph, was Emma what? Is it, what? Emma? Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression? Did I sound like it? Excuse me? Don't quit your day job. Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fraulein Detective? Someone had to come dig you out of all the mess you're making of this case. Yes. You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little more. You can find out if that stamp was in that envelope easy. Get to explain yourself, Fraulein Detective? Blare me all you want, but science is on my side. It's all in the residue, right? That's right! The poison detection spray! Produce the red envelope at once! You can open it on the authority of the court. The judge is like, open it! I want to read it! Poison, 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 poison. Oh, the stamp was right there. The stamp has poison on it. Well, would you look at that? No mistaking it. That's atroquinine residue. Oh my goodness, the killer did kill him by stamp. I don't believe it. A murder weapon from the past. Now 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last.
Objection!
Hello, Timothy. What's up with you? Sloth god? I am not a god. I'm just a sloth. But it's been a while. Absolutely outrageous. Tell me why. Why didn't this murder take place 7 years ago? Well, there's one possibility. Maybe Mr. Misham figured it out. Figured what out? He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead. So he sent his reply with a different stamp. And put his decisive evidence in a frame. What? You're still here? Can I make a statement here on the record? Hey, Spark Razor Toothbrush will claim this scoop as mine. You broke your console due to this game, what? Drew Misham killed in cold blood by sender of 7-year-old letter, end quote. Maybe something more succulent. Star falls after 7-year delay, end quote. Order, order! I see no room for further argument here. Though I admit, this is all coming as quite a shock. To think that the murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years. Stamp is taken straight to afterlife, end quote. Uh-oh, I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge. End quote. I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago could hardly have been our defendant. Apollo! I think we just won. Very well, this court finds the defendant. So, did the guy forget the stamp was poisoned? I don't know, but I don't know if he forgot. There has to be another reason why he used the stamp. Is this the bright future of our legal system? Prosecutor Gavin? A ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago. Tickets for Gaviner's shows are invalid after 2 weeks. But it doesn't make sense any other way. It boggles my mind that so many people haven't noticed this. There's a fatal contradiction in Air Forehead's claim. A contradiction? A poison stamp was placed in his envelope 7 years ago, whereupon it was framed until now. If that's the case, then why would Drew Misham have done what he did? Exactly! And explained that he must have realized it was poisoned. Therein lies the rub. 7 years ago, the forger Drew Misham sensed the trap and put the stamp in a frame. I do not debate this, but this begs the question. Why 7 years later did he use that stamp on the night of the murder? Surely, you don't mean to suggest that Mr. Misham simply forgot? He put the murder weapon in a frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot? You expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself? What is the real reason? What is going on? While I admit this is all quite shocking myself, it does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap that had been sitting on his desk for 7 years. Apollo? I don't think we're winning anymore. I'm glad to see we're all back in the real world now. Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you. Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in the envelope? The poison stamp? Where exactly is this poison stamp again? Have you brought it to court for us? I see no proof that such a thing ever existed. What about the atroquinine residue, huh? Oh, I agree, that does seem to be atroquinine residue. But, Air Forehead, it's certainly no stamp. Xavier's being mean to me. He was working along with me, now he doesn't like me anymore. He's not invited to the lunch. Even if your precious poison stamp did exist, Drew Misham never would have used it. That is all. Being mean, Judgy, help me. I believe we come to a conclusion. Again. Apollo, were we wrong the whole time? I can't believe it. The poison traces match up. It can't be coincidence. I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year. I mean, the year is almost over here as well. It's November. It's almost December. Can you believe we're almost done with this year? Alright, see ya, Firebrand. Thanks for coming. Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor? Let's review the facts and see where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Misham received a red envelope. There were traces of the poison atroquinine on the document inside that envelope. A similar trace was also found at the crime scene, on this tiny picture frame. The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow envelope, an envelope that left the scene of the crime with a poison stamp on it. Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp, and Drew Misham, knowing this, put it in a frame, he never would have used that stamp. I'm afraid you're right, which means there is a fatal flaw in the defense's case. I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time, I'm sure of it. The traces of atroquinine, the envelope, the frame, and Drew Misham's mysterious death, they're all connected somehow. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense, which means that one of our clues must be a fake. Oh, a fake clue? Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah? The fake clue that's thrown us off the poison's trail is none other than... Yes, the dead guy himself. What about the envelope? This red envelope is a fake? Without a doubt, Your Honor.
Objection!
Wasn't it you who presented this evidence to the court? Oh, Hold on a second, Apollo. The poison on that envelope, the frame, and the coffee mug, they're all connected somehow. Oh, that was my mistake, oops. I can hear it already. It looks like the fake was you, Air Forehead. Now's no time for walling and self-pity. Let's get thinking, Apollo. It can't be the frame. Could it be Drew Misham himself? What if I do that? The victim was a fake flu? I'm afraid I don't understand. I'll explain. We have an envelope, a frame, and a mug linked by poison. That all makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the victim himself.
Objection!
Congratulations, you've completely lost me. So the fake evidence is none other than the master of fake himself, the forger? It makes a good story, I'll give you that. The fake clue. Fakes. Forgeries. I know that face. That's the I just had an idea face. I don't know if I'm right, but I'm going with it anyway. What if our forger is the fake? Come again? 7 years ago, our forger sniffed the trap and stepped aside. 7 years passed. Now the forger stumbles into that very same trap and dies. Why? That's what I want to know. Because the forger who was killed was a fake. Wait. Here we are again. The victim was a fake? Excuse me? One forger smelled the trap. One forger fell into the trap. That's two forgers and one of them was a fake. What is going on here? There's a fake Drew Misham? Drew Misham was an imposter? So you are telling us that Drew Misham, the victim, was a fake? Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger? You better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo. I'm afraid you're gonna have to back up your story. Mr. Justice, show us just who the real Misham was. If Drew Misham wasn't the real forger, there's only one other person it could have been. Wait a minute. Forger Drew Misham was himself a forgery. The real forger was... You mean... The daughter was a forger? The daughter was the forger this whole time. So it was... She's the forger and Drew Misham was like, ooh, stamp. No freaking way. Take that.
Take that!
There can only be one explanation, really. The real identity of the forger known as Drew Misham is none other than his only daughter, Vera Misham. Holy heck. Order. Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb even for you. I kinda agree. I mean, Vera a forger? Let's consider it before you write it off entirely. If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear. Forgery had been taking place in that studio for quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago. This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger. Well, actually that does make a certain kind of sense. One more thing. Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio. Drew Misham's and Vera Misham's. If we know that Drew Misham wasn't the forger, that leaves only one possibility by process of elimination. The forger was Vera Misham. Well? Oh, there he goes again. That's his cocky guitar pose. Fascinating. If this is true, what a crazy case this is. Vera Misham? You've been paying attention to the trial so far? Let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? Who are you? Who is the forger Drew Misham? Oh. Vera? Was that an expression of emotion I saw on her face? She's staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face. I'm used to being stared at by Fraulines, believe me. Though they usually talk to me too. Tell us, were you the one who forged those works of art? Oh. Yes. Oh. So the forger Drew Misham was you? Yes, it was me. What? The court was in an uproar and it wasn't coming down. We had to break for a 10-minute recess. To be continued! Which will happen next time. We will find out what happens next time. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Thank you for coming to the stream. I will be back with more Apollo Justice next week, but I will be back with a different stream tomorrow night. Hope to see you all then. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. We are going to raid somebody before we go, so please do not change your channel just yet. Let's go raid a buddy, alright? We're gonna go do a raid. I will catch you all next time on my stream. Adios, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Thanks for coming.